I was let go last night from my job of 10 years. Let go is a loose term. I was sort of forced out. They were reducing our pay to nothing, switching to a commission-only structure, and increasing the amount of hours that we were required to work, even though it's a 1099 role. Anyway, more meetings, more constrictions, all that stuff. So, whatever, I did not sign up for that. I chose to leave. So now I'm just out here walking at 6 a.m. And I gotta be honest, the first thought I had was relief. I've been at that job for way too long. And I'm just happy that I'm not there. And I think the first thing that crossed my mind was, what opportunity is this going to bring into my life? Right? Something's going out, something is going to replace it. I'm going to approach it with a very positive mindset.
The company that I work for just went into default, which is amazing because now everybody's laid off. Not 100% sure how I'm going to proceed forward, but here's me documenting all of that step by step. Started as an AI engineer for this battery startup where we take second life batteries, put them inside of large scale energy storage systems, and ship those off to large energy customers. Really thought that was going to be secure. I think we all did, and surprisingly on Friday we got an email from the CEO saying
Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like you're working hard just to stay put in the same place? Or maybe you've watched the news about the economy and wondered how it is going to affect your own life. Today, allow me to talk about the current state of the US job market and the rising cost of living. We'll explore why so many people are facing job insecurity and financial strain, and we'll reveal some surprising stories from people on the front lines of this economic shift. From mass layoffs in the Texas oil industry to the struggles of a second-year lawyer trying to afford basic living, we'll connect the dots between global policies and your personal wallet. So, I promise you, by the end of this video, you'll have a clear understanding of the forces at play and the strategies people are using to navigate through these challenging times. If you find this information valuable, be sure to like, share, and comment down below. We want to hear your experiences and your thoughts. Now, let us get into it. I'm going to step away for a moment, but I'd like you to watch these powerful clips that speak for themselves. Then I'll be back with my further commentary.
There are now more unemployed people in the United States than there are job openings, according to a report from the Bureau of Labor Statistics released today. The Bureau of Labor Statistics is part of the Trump administration. They're probably cooking the books, and they're still showing that there are more unemployed people here in America than there are job openings. So, can't afford rent? Why don't you get a better job? Can't afford groceries? Why don't you get a better job? That boomer talking point doesn't fly anymore. There are not enough jobs for the unemployed people in this country, and the jobs just don't pay enough. The median individual income in this country is less than $50K a year. And so when people tell you get a better job, there's something like 20 million more adult workers in this country than there even are jobs that pay above that. So,
in case y'all were wondering if tariffs are having a real world effect, I have a story for y'all. So my husband and I, we have a friend in Poland, and he wanted these headphones and like a little gift for his daughter. And it's cheaper, obviously, to buy some things in America. So he was like, well, I'll just buy it and then get it shipped to your house, and then you can ship it to me. And he thought it would just be, like a flat rate to ship it from the United States to Poland. Well, I just got back from FedEx and DHL. Do you want to guess what I was quoted to ship this box? It's two things. FedEx quoted me $214. Express delivery would have been over $300. So I was like, thank you. I'm going to go check out DHL. DHL quoted me $241 to ship this box to Poland. Wow. I was able to chat with both of the workers about what's been going on with people trying to ship things during this era of tariffs. They said it's been really chaotic. People are shocked at how expensive it is to ship things. People are getting surprised with fees. So what most likely is going to happen now is we're just going to help him return these products that were bought, because it defeats the purpose of him trying to get something cheaper sent to him in Poland. He might as well just buy it where he is in Europe. And
the cost of living is getting actually outrageous. I started today like, oh yay, I'm a second year lawyer, like, oh, I made it through my first year. And I ended it really pissed off because I was like, oh yeah, I am a second year lawyer and I still cannot afford to live on my own in a way that would not be stressful, or in a way that I would not struggle, or in a way that I can do so without financially burdening myself by going into debt. My goal this year was to move back home with my parents, move back to New Orleans, which is a cheaper cost of living market, especially compared to New York, LA, Miami, the other 3 markets I was considering. Move home for a year, save my money, and then buy a house. Right? Make a smart investment. Don't throw all my money out the window on rent. I can rent out a room, help me pay down the mortgage faster. Like, just being savvy and strategic and smart. Well, we're now officially a year into that plan, hence, oh yay, I'm a second year lawyer, whoop, whoop, whoop. And I have enough money for a down payment, but you know what I cannot afford? Damn near 7% interest rate on your principal mortgage amount. Rising property taxes, rising insurance costs, especially in Louisiana. So while I have down payment money, especially if I use an FHA loan, I literally could not afford, in a financially responsible way, my mortgage. I would be house poor.
I hope those clips gave you a lot to think about. It is clear that the US job market and the cost of living are currently being impacted by some really significant macroeconomic factors. Let us break it down first. Let us talk about the job market. It's been described as being in absolute shatters, with reports suggesting over 1 million people were laid off in 2025 alone. We heard about an AI engineer who lost their job when their battery startup defaulted, and the staggering numbers from the oil industry. An oil company in Houston is eliminating 3,200 jobs, which is a massive 25% of its sector entire workforce. And that's on top of a Chevron, which recently laid off 9,000 workers, or 20% of its staff. Just these 2 companies alone account for over 12,000 jobs gone. This is not just about statistics. These are real people, real families whose lives are being turned upside down in broad daylight. We also had a deeply personal story from someone forced out of a job they've had for 10 years. A drastic pay reduction, a switch to a commission-only structure, and increased working hours made it impossible to stay. These are all signs of a job market where the power has shifted. The data backs this up. A report from the Bureau of Labor Statistics reveals that there are now more unemployed people in the United States than there are job openings. That's really sad. And even when jobs are available, the pay is often inadequate. The median individual income in the country is less than $50,000 a year, and there are about 20 million more adult workers than there are jobs that pay above that amount. It is a perfect storm of job scarcity and low wages. Adding to the complexity are external factors like tariffs. The clips identify tariffs as a leading indicator, causing many lagging economic effects, right? So we see companies are struggling with increased cost of international shipping, making it chaotic and expensive, right, to bring goods into the United States. Think about it for a second. Sending a box from the US to Poland costs about over $200 by FedEx or DHL. Some companies like DHL are even refusing to ship to certain European countries because they can't comply with the new tariff regulations. Can imagine about that. So this is not just a business problem. These are increased costs trickling down to the consumers and contributing to the rising cost of living. And that brings us to the second major point: the outrageous cost of living. It's getting to a point where basic necessities like rent and groceries are unaffordable for many. Housing costs in particular are a massive burden, and we learned that even with enough money for a down payment, home ownership is a distant dream for many people. Mortgage interest rates are approaching a staggering 7%, and on top of that, you have rising property taxes and insurance costs, particularly in states like Louisiana. It is no wonder people are worried about being being house poor. The financial strain is real and it affects everyone. We heard from a second year lawyer profession, many would consider financially stable who is struggling to afford to live independently without stress or debt. Their solution: to move back home with their parents to a city with a cheaper cost of living like New Orleans for a year to start off again. This is not a failure. It's it's a savvy and a strategic response to an incredibly difficult economic landscape. The plan is to save money and then make a smart investment, perhaps buying a house and renting out a room to help pay the mortgage faster. This brings up a key takeaway. People are finding ways to adapt, whether it's approaching a job loss with a positive mindset, strategically planning their next career steps, or relocating for a more affordable lifestyle. Individuals are taking control where they can. It's about being strategic, doing the research, and creating a plan to navigate a system that often feels stacked against you. The current economic environment is a challenging puzzle with many pieces: mass layoffs, a glut of unemployed workers, inadequate wages, rising tariffs, and skyrocketing costs for essentials. But by understanding the full picture and being proactive, we can start to find our way forward as a country. So guys, whatever is happening in the country or in the United States right now, what do you think about it? Tell me down in the comments below. Like this video, share it with your friends, and don't forget to turn on post notifications. More importantly, subscribe so that we can become a family, we can become a community. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you in my next video.